This lecture on reasoning deals with a type of problem known as courses of action. Now, course of action is an administrative decision for solving a problem. It's a very commonly asked question in the IBPS. Why the bank would want to know this is because they want to test your decision making skills. As a banker, you would have to follow a large number of regulatory guidelines, RBI guidelines, etc., in order to do your work, in order to make decisions in a professional sphere. This kind of question tests your ability to do the same. When testing you for the decision making through the questions on courses of action, the question will have such a structure. You would be given one statement and you would be given two or three courses of action. There would be multiple choices based on what decision you ought to take. Let's look at how to approach and solve this kind of a problem. First, you have to read the statement provided. This is because you have to understand the problem. You'll be given a problem and maybe two courses of action or what decisions on what you should do about it. You should read the statement carefully in order to accurately understand what the problem is. Next, see whether your problem is solved by the first course of action. See whether your problem is solved by the next course of action. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Here we have one statement and two courses of action. Step 1 is to read the statement carefully. The statement says, children are suffering from various health issues because of a sedentary lifestyle. Now, if you don't know what the word sedentary means, it means sitting too much. So what the statement essentially is saying is that children these days are having a sedentary lifestyle. That is, they're sitting too much, they're sitting in one place too much, they're not moving about. Because of this, they are suffering from various health issues. So what we get from the statement is that the problem here is that children are suffering because of a sedentary lifestyle. So the sedentary lifestyle is a problem because it is causing health issues. The second step is to see whether the problem that we just identified is easily solved by the course of action number 1. Course of action 1 says children must be made to play more sports. So does playing more sports solve the issue of a sedentary lifestyle? Yes, it does. Playing more sports reduces sedentary activity because it gets the children to get up and go about and move. Hence, this course of action follows the statement. Step 3, we do the same for the second course of action. Second course of action says, too much studying must be prohibited. Too much studying is a very vague and it's not specific. It doesn't tell you anything definite. Hence, it's a very bad decision. It's a very bad course of action to follow. Therefore, this course of action does not follow. Additionally, there is no link between too much studying and having a sedentary lifestyle. Whether reducing the amount of studying is going to result in the children not sitting in one place, whether it's actually going to result in them getting up and moving about, that is not known. Hence, this course of action does not logically follow the statement. Let us look at some tips and shortcuts for solving this kind of a problem quickly. First, you have to check, is the problem solved? You have to read the statement carefully and accurately identify the problem because that is what is going to give you the solution quickly. Identifying the problem wrong is going to result in you coming up with a wrong solution. Once you have identified the problem, look at the course of action and ask yourself, does this course of action solve the problem that I have just identified? Second, stay away from strong words. Courses of action are something definite. They're something that you're going to tell somebody to do. When you're giving such an instruction to someone, what you say has to be to the point, it has to be specific. It should not have strong words like only, best, definitely, certainly, too much, too little, and so on. Any decision which contains such a strong word is not being very specific. You're not accurately telling somebody what to do because you're adding some amount of emotion into it. Therefore, the example that we saw, too much studying must be prohibited. It's a bad decision because what is too much studying? How much studying is too much studying? How do you know how much studying is required? Is the current amount of studying too little, too less? Is it adequate? You have no way of knowing. Too much here is a strong word. Hence, it undermines this course of action. Therefore, when you're choosing the validity of a course of action, always ensure that the sentence is specific and definite.